There's no cut at the BMW Championship, but there are also no guarantees.
Welcome to PGA Tour Today, presented by MasterCard.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to the preview of the BMW Championship. I'm Amanda Balionis. There are now 2 down and just 2 more to go in the race for the FedEx Cup and the PGA Tour playoffs. In the field, which started at 125, has now been trimmed to just the top 70 players in the FedEx Cup standings. There will be no cut this week at Cog Hill outside of Chicago, but there will be a Sunday cut as only the top 30 will continue on to the Tour Championship and to keep their hopes alive of becoming the next FedEx Cup champion. Webb Simpson currently sits in the top spot after winning 2 times in just 3 weeks. The first at the Wyndham Championship, and then the second came at the Deutsche Bank Championship. Simpson has been one of the most consistent players on tour this season with 9 top 10 finishes, and he is also leading the way for all 16 players in their 20s that have won on tour this season. The young FedEx Cup leader has made it to the BMW Championship just once in his career, back in 2009, where he wasn't able to break 70 during the week, so look for a promising performance beginning on Thursday. Playing with Simpson is this week's defending champion Dustin Johnson, number 2 in point standings. Johnson, also in his 20s, won the Barclays just a few weeks ago, marking the 5th win of his career and the 2nd in a playoff event. If Johnson can take the trophy this week, he joined Tiger Woods as the only other player with 3 playoff titles. Rounding out the top 3 FedEx Cup pace setters and one of the many glitzy groupings of the week is Matt Kuchar, the 2010 runner-up for the FedEx Cup to Jim Furyk. This will mark Kuchar's 4th start at the 3rd playoff event, and last year he actually held the 18-hole lead after an impressive 7 under 64 to kick off the week. If Kuchar's consistency means anything, he'll be a guy to look out for early on in this competition. And then we have the rookies. 8 out of 11 rookies this season who qualified for the playoffs will be representing this week. Compare that to last year when only Rory McIlroy and Ricky Fowler made it this deep in the PGA Tour playoffs. 3 of those rookies are inside the top 30. PGA Championship winner Keegan Bradley leads the first-year players, sitting in 19th in FedEx Cup standings. Masters champion Charles Schwartzel is in 27th, and Kyle Stanley sits at 30th. Bradley, by the way, is also 20th right now in U.S. President's Cup team standings, and this is the last week for both international and U.S. players to jump into the top 10 to automatically qualify for their teams. For more on what you need to know heading into the BMW Championship, let's throw it out to Doug Bell and Fred Albers of the PGA Tour Network.
Amanda, thank you, and welcome to Chicago here at Cog Hill, where overcast skies has cooled things off. In fact, if you ask me, it feels like Chicago should feel, and the cooler temperatures have helped the putting greens. There's no doubt about it. These things have thrived under the cooler conditions. A year ago, major complaints about these putting surfaces. That's not the case this year. They look really green and they're rolling really smooth. One caddy told me they're still a little on the spongy side, but the players will certainly take consistency over the speed at this point. For more on what we can expect here at the BMW, let's go over to Fred Albers.
Doug, there is a lot of grass on this entire golf course, particularly in the rough. The rough is going to be a factor this entire week. We're just a yard off the putting surface here at the 18th hole. Rory Sabatini was nice enough to loan us a golf ball. If you miss the green, if you miss a fairway, this is what happens. The rough just absolutely swallows up this golf ball. Plus, we had rain in the Chicago area this week. That means the rough is not just going to be long, it is going to be thick, it is going to be juicy. There is a premium on hitting fairways and greens this entire week. Amanda, we have all the action. It's the BMW Championship. Our broadcast begins Thursday at noon Eastern Time.
Thanks, guys. Remember, our live at crew will be with you all week, so while you're at work, be sure to have one window open to watch our pregame show On the Tee beginning at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on Thursday and Friday, and then our live at coverage from the 12th and 14th holes will begin right after that at 1 p.m. Eastern.
PGA Tour Today is presented by MasterCard, which invites you to play like a PGA Tour player at select TPC courses. MasterCard is a proud sponsor of the PGA Tour.